Morning from Oslo Torp Airport. I just had 3.5 hours more to spend actually before getting here, but I wasn't really sure about the logistics, so I just took all of the time I needed to get to the airport. And I have pretty much nothing to do for 3 hours, so I just started walking from the airport. That's what I do quite often, because I'm such a minimalist traveler in a sense. People always think it's super strange when I just arrive somewhere and start walking, like sometimes literally from the airport, and then improvise something. But it is something you can do, and you can actually get to places. You'd be surprised and see a lot of cool stuff, like this area is packed with World War II bunkers and all kinds of interesting stuff, hiking trails and all. Some nice countryside. So nature is never far away. In these countries you can just start walking from anywhere. In fact, you'd be surprised how many airports, even Wrocław, you can just start walking literally to your nearest train station, for example, as I've often done, and then you're on your way, you know, without ever getting to the main city near the airport. You can just get around everything, start your trip immediately when you land. That's what I often do. So we're in real Northern Europe right here, and obviously before it used to be Christianized. Basically the whole of Europe was pagan, and what they did is they had separate rituals for basically anything, including burials and honoring the dead. And then you had these burial rings and ceremonial rings. See, all around the trees there are stones in a circle, so you have stone circles and what's it called again, megaliths all around this site. And this can be traced back to, well, thousands of years ago, before Christianity set foot in Europe. Well, Europe was land of the pagans, including Rome, and then everything became Christianized through a large great reset in that sense. But before that were originally pagans, were the people of the forests, of the seas, of the wide fields, and of the you know, the greenery. This is literally pagan Europe. Thousands of years of history. You may not see it unless you actually walk here, but there's stones in the literal larger circle around here, see? And you have a whole trail here right near the airport that has pagan sites. And yeah, me myself, I'm not a Christian. I would classify myself as a pagan if I had to classify myself as anything. I'm a pagan because I'm a guy of the deep connection with the forest, well, even though I couldn't survive in the forest, I feel a deep connection to it. I feel a deep connection if I see the rivers of my country, the wide fields, if I feel the wind. That's my religion, and the church is the forest in that sense. The pagans, they've roamed around these lands for thousands of years. Eventually it was churches that were built around energy lines, right? You can still trace back energy lines. There's probably plenty in this whole area, see? And then everything became replaced with Christianity, so I'm not a Christian by definition, because it's not my original religion, and not the religion of my elderly, let's say. So we all used to be pagans in Europe. Even though I'm baptized as a Catholic, folk Catholicism is the closest as there is to paganism. It's a small conversion, but anything else, I'm not affiliated with any book. There is no book. This is our book, right? It's walking around here feeling the sun and the wind. And then you need no book on how to live your life or how to treat others, other than common decency is the key word. So yeah, that's my conviction, and there is no code other than human decency, so you sort of treat others in a fair and balanced way, right? And that's all there is to life. that you can just walk around your ancient lands and they're actually yours. I mean, these are the lands where our far great grandparents walked around doing burials, doing sun rituals and whatnot, candle lit rituals. I have absolutely no idea, but I'm sure it was a beautiful community, and it was ours, and it's gone, and it's all replaced. So yeah, what are we actually? Who are we? And that's the thing, like many people, they don't know about paganism, and even though there is a small rebirth, especially Slavic paganism is very significant. It always was. The Slavic pagan gods is something so beautiful, but it's sort of erased from our history as well. It's been replaced thousands of years ago already, and nobody's really doing anything since with paganism, right? But it's making a slow rebirth as people have more and more access to information, and they see that our lands existed before Christianity. And there was a lot going on before churches were even built in Europe. A whole lot. It didn't just start 2,000 years ago, right? Look back 10,000 years, what would we have been? We had the temples in Greece. We had stone circles in all of northwestern Europe. We had large trees and the admiring of certain gods in many depictions, which I'm not even aware of. But look up the Slavic gods, they are just very powerful images or reconstructions have been made of how people interpreted these gods, and that's all without a book, without guidance. Just the land and the forest are your guide, and they're my guide as well, because I just start walking around and I'm always pulled back into my sort of ancient land, because my ancient land is the north. I'm from the northwest of Europe, and it's my land where I feel a sort of particular draw to it, even though I'm not living in the Netherlands since a long time. The land has a sort of pull to me, and it traces me back to, like, I just sort of know in which direction to start walking. It's as if these energy lines sort of draw me into a place. So also why I'm often drawn to churches, because the lines are still there, and then I notice then that there must be something here or there, places of significance around the edges of the forest. I'm not just making it up, right? Could even be traced back to Vikings. I have no idea, honestly. I'm certainly not the most knowledgeable person about all of these things, but there's a literal trail that I'm actually on, which I didn't know the existence of before. So yeah, you can just deep explore Europe, right? Most people get to the airport in Oslo Torp, they have no idea what's around here, but if you just start walking, you find a whole civilization you could trace back thousands of years to way before Christianity, and all of that still exists, and it never went away. It just was sort of brushed under the carpet, but the traces are still there. Now look where I've ended up, just by walking a bit around this hilltop. See over there. And yeah, now it's time to get back to the airport, but just look at these surroundings that you can get to just by walking a bit. Just amazing. Not bad, right?